तस्य मंगलाचरणं भवतु विद्या सर्वेषां पुनः स्वागतं नमस्सभाये शान्ताकारं भुजगशैलं पद्मनाभं सुरेशं विश्वाधारं गगनसदृशं मेघवर्णं शुभांगं लक्ष्मीकान्तं कमलनयनं योगिहृद्यानगम्यं वन्दे विष्णुं भवभयहरं सर्वलोकैकनाथं नमस्सभाये. Now we are in fourth session of this workshop. I welcome Dr. Professor Sharada, Department of Home Science, Sri Padmavati Mahila Vishwavidyalaya. Madam has more than 36 teaching experience. At the same time, she has 33 years research experience also. Madam has guided 70 PG researchers, and under the Madam guidance, 11 PhD awarded students are there, and now the 4 students pursuing PhD. Madam has completed UGC 2 research projects. Madam has completed, and specializes in Madam community nutrition, natural status science. Madam has published more than national level 60 articles, international level journals 30, and 10 books published. Presented 50 research papers, various national and international conferences, seminars. So, on behalf of our education department, Madam, once again I welcome you. Please, thank you so much.
Hope you are not exhausted. Actually, this topic is the most important and crucial topic in research. Anyone who begins to research has to first select a research problem, and it is like a foundation. Many people feel, what is there in selecting a research problem? I already have an idea. It is not such easy thing, because your research career, your future research career depends on the present research, and also how you select your problem influences your budget and also the outcome of your research. So research problem, can you show? Just have collected some information on research problem. Here research problem is nothing but a research topic which is stated in the form of a question, and it is also always written in the form of a statement also. How we go about a research problem selection and how we state it in the form of a question, I'll explain. A research problem is a topic selected for a research project. It can be a master's degree dissertation, PhD thesis, or any research project sanctioned by any agency, a funding agency, based on their thrust areas, etc. This forms the basis for any research. Researcher may choose a research topic to address an existing problem in the society or fill the gap in theory. So all of us have a books, textbooks, etc. The theory is already there. So some of us may be very much interested in a particular subject. We would like to pursue our research in that particular area. And when we go through the whole theory in the form of a review, and current literature also we collect, we always find a gap. That is, something is missing here. It has to be included. So people who pursue for the sake of theory building, they choose such areas. But those who are concerned with the society, students and existing problems, they focus on an area which needs to be addressed. That is, a problem needs to be addressed. They choose that particular problem. A research problem sets the course of investigation in any research process. This is the beginning, so the starting of any research. Am I audible?
No,
I think this is not. Okay, I'll use this.
battery.
A research problem sets out the course of investigation in any research process. Is it now audible?
Audible.
The next slide. What is a research problem? It is nothing but a research topic chosen by an investigator. A research problem is a specific topic, question, issue, concern, gap in theory of a subject area which the researcher is interested to address through their research. It is the basis for the proposed research project undertaken as an individual or as a team. So when we look at the theory, always we don't look from the perspective of a research. A researcher always has a focus or a hunch or interest in a research topic. Always looks for a gap. There are people who always look at a gap or a deficit. So such people are very quick at finding a research topic. Next. The compilation of a research question is basic to a project. That is, when you identify an area, it may be wide or big. Always we know that in research, we study certain factors. When we ask a question, it directs towards a problem. That problem will consist of several factors or variables, you call it. So they should be measurable. So what variables to include in your problem? Because you can't, like Einstein and others, you can't go on doing the research. There is a time frame. There is a limitation of resources. So we try to choose a problem with one or few variables to address one particular problem at a time. A research question is formulated in a question form to provide basis and clarity for developing a research proposal. A well-defined research question facilitates the researcher to select a research design, method, data collection, and analyze results in a systematic and coherent manner. So always we try to select a problem. So why we have to keep on talking about a problem research topic is your research topic again. Our research topic always focuses on the methods. So it will not stop. As I said, it is the beginning. So when we make a beginning, identify a problem, state it. What happens is, you focus on the problem. Problem will include on whom, what, why, when, how we are doing it. That is, a problem will raise so many questions. These questions will be answered through our research. Meaning, they will also direct towards which type of research you are going to choose. And what are the various tools you are going to use. What are the variables you are going to measure. How you are going to measure. How long you are going to measure. So all these things are included in the topic itself. So topic is very, very important. So a researcher always should be interested in a particular subject area, should be interested in what type of research problem he wants to choose. He wants to contribute to the theory, or he wants to address a social problem, or he wants to focus on a particular concern. What is it? That clarity the research should develop, and then you should think about a research problem. If not one problem, several problems you can choose, because it's only you're writing on a piece of paper and thinking. So you're not yet finalized a problem. So there's nothing wrong in thinking about several problems in one particular subject area. Next one. From which sources should I select a research problem? Already there are n number of articles published in our own field. So these research publications are very important. When you start looking at the research publications, you start with again a topic. So what topic it is, and who has done it, where he has done it, on whom, which population he has done it, what is the methodology around it, and what are the variables studied. So with this perspective, always a new researcher looks at the publications. So journals, periodicals, reports, proceedings are one sources. Other one is we attend conferences, seminars, workshops, panel discussions, etc. So various people, experts and also the new researchers also, they present their research outcome. So this is also a one source where they would have presented various papers and proceedings also published. So this also comes very handy to a new researcher to select an area, provided they attend the conference seminars fully. And imagination, interest and hunch. That is, people will imagine looking at the various problems around us, even in educational setup. So old theories are no more relevant now. ICT has come and blended learning, flipped learning, and in Corona we have seen various platforms have come, Zoom like and other things. So indirect learning has come. So we try to study various things. Maybe some idea may click in us that we would like to work on it. So imagination, interest and hunch, they'll also direct towards a particular area which can be developed and defined and then discussed with experts and finalized or formed into a research problem. Guide or a mentor. So almost all guides and faculty would have their own research area. Or when you approach them for a dissertation topic or a PhD topic, they may ask you first, what is your area of interest? So when you come up with your area of interest, they may suggest modifications in your topic, or they may give their own topic for you to start your research. But without interest, nobody should start their own research. Though guide and mentor may contribute a problem, it's always better that a student or a scholar comes up with his own problem, research area, so that he can take the assistance of the guide. Research, just now I said, research topic, how you state your research topic or research problem, because the research statement problem topic itself indicates that what type of research it is. Whether it is a descriptive research or analytical research. Two types of research are there broadly. One is descriptive research, that is the contributes to the theory building, explorative research, whatever we call. It answers the question, what? So always descriptive research answers the question, what? Analytical research again has three types, that is explanation research, prediction research and intervention research. Explanation research always answers why and how. This is analytical research is more popular in biomedical, clinical and science researchers, even in social sciences also, where we try to find the cause and effect relationship. Even in education field, there are students who are underachieving, single digit students, or tutorials impact, effect of tutorials on the student achievement kind of thing, or so many variables influence the outcome of performance, etc. So why and how is answered in analytical research, and when is also answered in analytical research. And intervention research, that is when you manipulate some variables to improve upon, like you would like to develop a model for helping students to improve their efficiency in a particular subject. So that model, when you implement, you would like to see the effect. That is intervention research. Intervention research always looks at the effect, pre and post kind of thing, before and after. And so that kind of research is called analytical research. So when we choose our research problem, we must keep in mind what type of research am I going to conduct. Next one. Next. topics I have selected to explain the one. This is list of education research paper topics. What are the benefits of bilingual education for children? It answers the what of it, that is, it is a descriptive research. What is the importance of great retention of children with different disabilities in the education system? This is also a tries to answer what of it. Why is it so important for parents to teach their children about the values of core life skills? This is analytical research. How do we develop self-determination among children suffering from disabilities? This is also analytical type of research. Development of online learning as the future of education system. It answers when of it. This is also analytical type of research. Effectiveness of project-based learning, that is PBL popularly called, in increasing critical thinking skills. This is also analytical type of research. So when choosing a research problem, investigator or the prospective researcher should focus or make an effort on keep thinking about the research problem from these perspectives. Next one. Research question formulation. So you have chosen a topic broadly, maybe 2-line problem or 3-line topic you have chosen. You have to refine it. So you have to bring it in the form of a question so that it directs towards a course of action. Research question formulation. You have chosen the area of research selection. You have chosen an area of research selection based on review of literature, refine and raise a question. State again and again, make it more precise so that variables will not miss out, and tries to answer what, why, how, when kind of thing in the question. Peer review work, that is, you discuss with the faculty or you go through the various journals for similar topics, how it has been stated, whether it is an over-researched area or area which is not yet researched much. So there is no use in selecting an area over-researched. In clinical biostatics is also from maybe for 5-6 decades people are working on anemia. There are even in education, there are some areas are over-researched. Over-researched areas also will have a perspective or a dimension which is not addressed. So one can look at that angle and select a topic from that. Define measurements, measurable exposure and outcome. Measurable exposure is how we manipulate the variable. We manipulate the variable or expose the sample to a particular treatment in order to bring change in the sample. That is, shorten initial question, define research question by adding specific details. This happens only when you clearly discuss the problem, those who are concerned or those who are related to it, like people who are conversant with the topic. It is not that only your research supervisor or a guide or a teacher should help you. There are people other than those people who are interested in helping you or sitting with you to discuss the topic so that they can give a new perspective to the problem. When we say exposure, you yours is a language education. I do not know what else you have, like mathematics and other things also you may be having in Sanskrit also. So students have difficulties. I think I'll use this one.
Yes, madam, that is working. That is not maybe working. It is
not working, you can go through.
Okay. How do I on it? It's on only.
Yes.
Thank you. In analytical research, it is always that a treatment is given. Now, most of the published work, they are insisting that what is your contribution to the research other than collecting the data on the existing situation. Existing situation data is collected when you want to study a phenomenon, new phenomenon, or you want to explore a new problem like a COVID-19 and learning of language like yours. So on several platforms other languages are available, maybe Sanskrit may not be available. So this explorative research or descriptive research is highly useful when you lack a data or to explain a phenomena or existing situation you want to analyze, like a situational analysis to base a particular research. Again, furthermore you want to develop a research. Analytical research always uses cause and effect study. That is, we have in educational setting, home environment we have, school environment you have parents on the other side, students on this side. That is more factors are influencing on the child. It's not only your education system. Even within your education system, you have a timetable, long hours of education. And nowadays, academic stress and life skills are also being studied. And influence of social media, influence of addiction to Android phone, addiction to television. These are the so many things, are the factors which are influencing the students, especially in an educational setup. So when you want to study the relationship, association, correlation kind of thing, analytical research kind of problem may be chosen. Next. A researcher must address the following practical problems in research. Always look for an under-researched area, a research area which is not covered by many people. And areas of concern, there are always some areas of concern which has to be addressed as a responsibility, social responsibility. Conflict, maybe controversies over some theories or controversy over some results of some finding. Controversy in the field of education, such as issues with performance and efficiency, processes that could be improved, areas of concern among practitioners, difficulties faced by specific groups. There are several groups of people. Ethnic groups are also marginalized people are there. So their problems also need to be addressed. Here, which type of research the researcher wants to do, he has to think of. Mostly choose an area which is under-researched and choose an area which has conflict in information that has to be researched and then contributed to the theory. And then there are some marginalized groups like underprivileged groups in all communities or all over India, in all states are also there. Their problems can also be addressed, especially related to your own field of research. Next one. Next. So the problems are, once you decide which area you want to work on, in that area, again, you must decide what type of problem you want to choose. Theoretical problems. Researchers should look at for the following: phenomena or context that has not been closely studied. A particular phenomena which has not been closely studied. Contradiction between two or more perspectives. There are several perspectives to a problem. Maybe few perspectives are not studied. Those perspectives can be considered for a research. A situation or a relationship that is not well understood. A troubling problem which has not been resolved. In the field of education, there are several problems. Academic stress is the biggest problem, and children who are facing this problem, they need to undergo a particular change with regard to their skills and strengths. Who should give this strength? Most of the times, it is the family who should be giving. With women working in the families, quality time is not given to the children, including the food. That is what supposed to be one of the family functions. That function is outsourced or people are depending for food also from outside source. So the quality time, why I am saying is it is a meal time which gives scope for family interaction, and children enthusiastically come up to share with their problem related to the school. When they are not listened to, this important aspect is missing. So the parents in turn want the school to take up this life skill education program or counseling to the children, and they want school to address the remedial coaching or tutorials, whatever it is. That is, the more and more responsibilities are trying to be placed with the school. With the corporate education, what is happening is the number of hours the children are spending in the school is increasing. Starting earlier, it used to be 6 hours school, 8 hours school, now 10 more number of hours of school is being there. So this is giving more scope for research to address the problems of children in school. So this, as soon as you see, today also we have seen a child missing exam and committing suicide in Telangana. So the rate of suicides also increasing. So all these are related to the system itself, educational system itself. So educational system is at the center. Family and administration and other aspects are related to the education system. We can't say that we would like to focus on the research only on the education system, not on the other aspects related to the student or teacher. The teacher timetable is, in some of the researchers, what they are saying is, if online education is coming, blended learning is coming, the government says what are the face-to-face contact of the teacher and the student, only to those hours the teacher should be paid. Teacher doesn't want the other types of education classroom. They are more interested in classroom teaching. They don't want to have flipped learning. Flipped learning is you give all material to the student, they prepare and come, teacher come, only the experiential learning takes place. So the teacher burden is being reduced. So when the teacher burden is being reduced, a teacher should be given the responsibility of mentorship. So that also should be paid to the teacher. So that student is taken care of As a mentor-mentee relationship, student may be listened by the mentor. So this kind of research areas can come up in education. Instead of the performance of the student, performance of the teacher, academic achievement in terms of marks kind of thing. So marks is the only quantitative measure of the academic achievement of the child, which the parents appreciate, teacher appreciates, society appreciates. There are other things like the skills which the child has to learn, especially in terms of application. So Indian children with highest marks, meritorious students are seem to fail in overseas education because their application matters. So we have plenty of topics to think of in research area to address the problems in our own system, where we can make adjustment, space for teachers, space for children, and also involve the family also in the field. So parent education, parent-teacher education, parent-teacher meetings, and earlier times also they were there, but they were not made use of, so that also can be studied. So plenty of scope for research in education to address the problem, mostly analytical research, not descriptive research. Context and background of research. What does the problem affect? Or who does the problem affect? So who are the sample? It indicates towards the sample. Is it a newly discovered problem or a well-established one? Is this research problem new one or already well-established one? We must try to analyze our own problem. What research has already been done in this particular area? What if any solution has been already proposed? Is it feasible? The earlier proportion they might have tried may not be replicated. Some people try, do the research, good results they get, but it is not replicated for the benefit of the students or the population on whom they have done the research. In that case, we can go to further research, replicate the same model and see the result again and affirm or confirm the results. What are the current debates about the problem? What is missing from these debates? So several debates can be conducted by the administration on the issues which are concerning the students, teachers, system itself, and then point towards a particular problem. So research problem, once identified, it has to be stated in detail, add more number of details into it, and then it can be refined. Next one. Specificity and relevance. Which place, time and group of people will you focus on whom you want to do the research? Which factors will you not be able to handle? Some factors require competencies. So do I have the competency to handle that kind of research? What are the consequences if the problem is not solved? So we must thoroughly, after selecting the problem, from our own perspective, we must look at the problem and to try to answer these questions. Next one. Research question. I am not comfortable. A research question is an ambiguity in the population that the researcher wishes to clear up by measuring members of the study population. That is, there should not be any ambiguity in the population. Whom you are selecting? You have to be very clear. Which age group? Are they formal school children? Informal schools? Informal children attending the non-formal education? Which class they are attending? Which age group? Which gender? All these things have to be very clearly specified. In the research life cycle, the uncertainty is called the needs. Always uncertainty means it indicates towards the data needs. What data I require. My data needs indicates towards an uncertainty in the research in the area which I am selecting. In order to choose the best study design, determine who should be included in the research, what outcomes need to be measured, and when these outcomes need to be measured, we therefore need a clear question. A research question is all about refining ideas into systematic process of framing a question. Once we select a research topic, what we do is we try to refine it from the point of view of whom am I studying? What are the characteristics of the sample I am going to study? And what variables I am going to include in my study? Where I am going to study? Is it Andhra Pradesh, Telangana? Is it rural? It is urban? Is it urban? Which area I am going to choose? All these things have to be stated in the research question. It is not your final topic. You are only trying to specify all the details in your research question before refining your research question. Next one. Research question categories. Research question categories. We need to be aware of two different types of research questions. There are only two categories. One is analytical, other one is descriptive. A descriptive question is one that uses a quantity to be measured through observations. Quantitative measures, the so-called tools which we are using. Education also, like psychology, uses n number of tools, scales, etc. Mostly, some of them may be parametric, some may be quantitative, parametric. Non-parametric and parametric scales are available. People use those scales to quantify the information, maybe perceptions or opinion or problems are also rated on these scales, or other issues also may be rated related to the school, like academic stress or classroom teaching rating, or so many aspects. N number of scales are available even in education. Those scales also can be used for descriptive research. And if already on the topic of your research scales are not available, one can develop the scale and then standardize it before you go for your study. So it is should be preceded by a pilot study kind of thing. And then after your pilot study, you can do the quantitative research. This is descriptive research. Most of the research is done in education system is also, especially in social sciences and education, are descriptive. Quite less number of researches are done in analytical type of research. Analytical research involves comparison of two groups or same group pre and post can be compared, or two groups can be compared, like a factorial research and other kind where you have classify the one variable and then compare. within the group comparison, between the group comparisons can be done. So comparison, gender-wise comparison, now many of the experts are saying we should not do rural and urban comparison. Anyway, it's very clear that inputs for rural children are less, so why compare? But in psychology and other things, social maturity among emotional maturity, that kind of thing, rural and urban children can be compared, because on those attributes rural children seem to be better than the urban children. So analytical research, comparison of two groups, and cause and effect relationship can also be measured. Cause and effect relationship, prospectively it can be measured, or retrospectively also it can be measured. So this is mostly analytical research, gives us a solution to the problem, or helps in understanding a problem in a better way. That way we contribute more to the field of study. Once a research question is formulated, maybe in detail, it needs to be refined. So for that, there is a method. Next. A test called So What test is done for a research topic. That is, you must assess, is my research topic or research problem or research question is feasible for conducting the research? Is it practical? Can I collect the data? Can I measure the variable? Does it lend itself for measurement? Or accurately can I measure the problem? And financially also, time-wise, money-wise, is it feasible? Next one is, the topic should be interesting. Interesting at least to the researcher, and interesting to the publisher or to the public also. So interest is very much important. Next one is, it should be novel, new, not an old one. So always a novel research has more scope for more future for the researcher and also to the topic. There's a demand for a particular research. Ethical concerns are there now. All researchers, even social science research, educational research, they should take the ethical committee clearance. Unless you take the ethical committee clearance, your research will not be allowed for publication in reputed journals like Scopus or peer-reviewed journals or UGC recognized journals. Ethical, for our own sake also, it should be, ethical concern is there. So you select a group of, two groups of children who are underachieving, going for 10th class education. You develop an intervention model, give it to one group, not give it to the other group. This group will benefit, this group will not benefit. So ethical committee will not agree. It says you give it to this group, after you complete your research, you should, same thing should be, benefit should be given to the other group who are your control group. And there are some under 18 children, for all researchers you have to take the permission from the children. That is, informed consent should be taken from the children. If the children are under 18, you must take the permission from the parents, especially some kind of researches related to reproductive education or some personal data you want to collect up from the children. So that kind of thing, especially you have to seek permission from both from the children and parents also. So ethical concerns should be addressed. relevant. It should be relevant to the society, relevant to the subject also. So the FINER is an acronym used. You apply it before you finalize your topic. Next. Evaluation of research question. Frame problem in specific terms. That is, some verbs have to be used. That is, operational verbs. Whatever variable you are going to use, select to include in the study. You must develop operational definitions for those terms. Arrive at the operational definitions for those terms. Focus on the issue. There may be so many things come up while doing the research. You will be interested in including all those things in your study. It should not be done. It is better to be focused on your research problem, research topic, because you have already going to state a research problem. State your problem in the beginning in your own language. Even if it is English, in your own way you try to state the problem, because it's your research problem. You must understand the problem and think about it and state it in your own way in the beginning. Use more than one operational verb. Always link the research question to the action to be taken. Always research question gives a direction, indicates towards a course of action. This course of action again we formulate in the form of objectives. So research question should indicate towards an action to be taken in the form of a research. It should be in the question form. Topic is different from the research question. Both are synonymously used. But when you state a question, it should be in the question form. Topic can be indicate towards a problem. Next. Research problem versus statement. Just now I said, though synonymously used, research problem stated differently from the research question. Research problem versus research statement. Research statement is description highlighting the significance and importance of your research. Most of the, if you see the research articles, they insist on in the abstract background of the research. That background is nothing but research statement only. An explanation of the problem the study will attempt to solve is found in a research problem. It is necessary to emphasize the issue, effects, and the response or solutions in this explanation. The research problem should be clearly summarized in a problem statement. Unless you understand your research problem, you cannot state. Many people, what they think is, do the Google search, collect relevant words, put it together to avoid plagiarism, use the paraphrasing tool and paraphrase it. It is not the correct one. So always we must try to write our statement. It may not be beautifully done, yet it's your statement. You can refine it later. In your own language, try to understand the research problem based on the review of literature, that is the literature collected from various journals, reports, etc. You understood the problem thoroughly, then put it in your own way in the form of a research statement, and then try to finalize into a problem and make it more finer in the form of a question. research question versus statement. As just now I said, research statement elaborates one paragraph. Paragraph is nearly 5 to 10 lines, maybe. Many people say it is 7 lines. A statement is stated in a 7 lines. Problem is stated in 1 or 2 lines. Question is in 1 line. To state it in 1 line or 2 lines, you have to be very clear and make it finer and finer so that you can state it. Next one. Scope for educational research. Because this is a platform where we have curriculum development is one area, teacher education is one area, student learning and achievement is another area, and educational problem that those are the other areas. So in education, not only the system, you also have other related areas one has to focus. Next one. So we have just now touched upon the first step in research, that is the problem. Many people try to pick up already researched area, especially postgraduate dissertation. They don't want to spend much time. It's only for 3 months or 6 months you have to be there and do the research. And even in the thesis, it's a methodology which is tested. So they try to repeat the research. But it's always good that you pick up an area for PhD, even postgraduate, and other project funding also you can apply. Most of the funding agencies, they announce the thrust areas. Though the thrust areas are announced, a researcher will have a freedom to select in the thrust area, again, one particular problem, as I said, which is under-researched, which needs focus from the social perspective, and an area which is causing lot of problem and concern in the society. And all these things can be kept in mind while selecting a research problem. Once the problem is chosen, or before and after selecting the problem, one has to go through the various reviews. Reviewers studying others' research or examining others' research. Examining others' research meaning how they have conducted, what areas they have covered, what tools they have used, what statistical techniques they have used. All these things we can focus on and then choose a particular topic. Once a topic is selected, you can state it in your own way in the form of a question. Once the question is done, again go back and think about your research problem and give a statement. Statement always gives a direction towards a course of action, and there are several other things which has to be considered in research, because the variables you are selecting, it is going to affect your research design, and several errors may be caused in future in the research related to the sample size, and also the other errors, like if you do not include some variables, there may be extraneous variables and confounding variables which may influence your outcome of your research. So it is important that a review of literature should precede, follow while selecting the research problem. And research topic is a very important one, first and foremost step in research. Thank you.
संशयाः सन्ति चेत् प्रष्टुमर्हन्ति। మీరు ఒక 15 minutes కూర్చోండి మేడం.
No problem, I can stand.
Sorry, ma'am, it's it may be a very simple question, but I have doubt in it.
No, you can ask even a bigger question. No problem.
No, actually, you said the descriptive research comes under what?
Answers what?
What? Whether it comes under qualitative or quantitative. What I think what is a qualitative, but you said the descriptive comes under quantitative.
Data is a quantitative also, you can connect. It's a qualitative research, mostly explorative research kind of thing, where you explore a new phenomena, new area, or new problem if you explore. That explorative research design, it has like, as I said, qualitative research is content analysis, ethnographic research, and so many other things are there. There also, what is also answered.
What comes under quantity?
Yes, not how much I am telling.
Yes.
Quantity is that when you use a tool and try to measure something, even in descriptive research, you can answer the question, what of it? So descriptive research, for example, I said, so comfortable area is academic stress. So there are different kinds of stress. Use a scale to what kind of stress, what levels they have. So that also answers, here you are
What
quantifying.
quantity you will get from that? If we take research like the stress of a children, of a student in a school, what quantity we can
You can categorize the stress levels into low stress, medium stress, and high stress. Descriptive research is done using tools also. So qualitative, what happens is pinpointedly you cannot say towards what. You can explain the problem. You can explain the problem. That is also important. Through anecdotes you explain. And some under-researched area, for example, in education, where any of you can point towards a particular midday meals program. Midday meals program, does it improve the school attendance in schools? It is not analytical. Midday meals program is regularity to the school. Here again you see the attendance. And attendance for food, attendance for class you can see. You can quantify how much percentage for food, what is the percentage for school attendance. You can also take another aspect like performance also you
So
can
the same
take
research can be done qualitatively and quantitatively.
quantitatively. Descriptive research also focuses on quantitative. Quantitative, though it is qualitative, this explorative research mostly qualitative. Even in quality, you can indicate towards a number. That is descriptive research. Descriptive research, new symptoms in clinical research. What are the symptoms of COVID-19? What symptoms they present to the doctor? It's a new area, COVID-19. So descriptive research you conduct to identify the signs and symptoms with which the different patients present. That is again a descriptive research. Again, how frequently they present and severity also can be measured. You can quantify that also. So, maybe 100 people present. One person may present with symptoms at a low level. Another person may present with a moderate level. Another may present at a higher level. So there also you can quantify. Descriptive research also leads to quantification. Here mostly the statistical analysis we see is, here also we'll include some demographic variables, we'll include some dependent variables. We try to see the association by studying chi-square. Is there an association? Here also you can classify the variables into various groups and try to apply ANOVA also, see the difference also. So quantification Non-parametric will be there in descriptive. And some, especially in educational research, it allows, lends itself for quantification also. Marks are seen. Children marks are, can be seen also. So the quantification. And there are some areas where you can apply descriptive. Most 90% of our PhD scholars and those who apply for funding also, they resort to descriptive research. It is less expensive and less time taking when you see the thing. And individually also it can be done. Manpower also not much required. And without, you can depend on, especially in this kind of setup, you can depend on the students also to collect data. Data collection also within the system, when it is collected, you do not require much manpower also. It's easily done. Analytical research, you can do it on a small sample. Descriptive research sample size has to be bigger.
Even in analytical research, we need that quantitative.
Yeah, analytical research, hypothesis testing is there. In descriptive research, you can generate hypothesis. Hypothesis testing is not there
It's already there. Testing
descriptive. You can generate hypothesis
in the descriptive.
in descriptive research. In analytical research, you test the hypothesis. So thereby there has to be some quantitative research, and mostly parametric has to be there along with the non-parametric also.
Any example for a pure qualitative?
Yeah, pure qualitative can be done. That is for if you observe a new area, observation techniques are used, interviews are used, and these are the research methods used. Participant observation, non-participant observation kind of thing, or a new area you can be used. Especially qualitative research, content analysis also can be done, like this thing. Most of the people taking Sanskrit as a second language, they write in Telugu and English. And the new information, if you want to add, like for example, nowadays new area is already, if I want to include a new information in the textbooks, what I do is I do the content analysis. Like the previous books I go through, I try to examine how far this content has been already covered in the previous books. Again I quantify here, because I assign numbers to the quantity, content itself, 1, 2, 3, 4 like that. So content 1, is it covered in which level? Content 2, which level? Content 3, which level? So the content which is not included, that content I try to recommend for inclusion in further education. So we do the content analysis for advertisements also. Some new information, government want to spend money to give nutrition education to the public. I collect all the advertisements related to the nutrition, telecast in Telugu channels, maybe by Shah Rukh Khan, Amitabh Bachchan, that this, whoever it is, given in the interest of the people, related to mother and child nutritional status. Maybe 1 month or 2 months I pick up all advertisements, I do the content analysis, see the content, how much has been covered, the important aspect which has not been covered, which need to be followed by the mothers to improve upon the child and child nutritional status, that content I will recommend. This has been already covered. That is again a qualitative research. Content analysis is mostly done in communication and journalism. It is done in education also for content analysis and kind of thing. And the several research are there. Ethnographic, grounded theory is one research. That is also qualitative research. Several researchers are there depending upon their need. As I said, I want to include for theory building, I'll focus on that. I feel the students are, for example, polytechnic students, they do not have mathematics. So they have a lateral entry into engineering. So many of the experts, engineering professors says that they are not suitable for engineering education because they have not done mathematics in polytechnic. So this needs to be addressed. So one way shown is MOOCs. Let them go for MOOCs, get a certificate so that they can fulfill the prerequisite for lateral entry. So these are all qualitative kind of research done in education.
One small question. You said that for evaluation of research question, I would want to use more than one operational verb. It is. What is an operational verb and how can you use it?
Operational verb is this: what, why, when, how.
So by that we can evaluate a research.
Evaluate. Am I able to answer? There is a scope for seeing it. So without a scope, you cannot do a research. What are you doing? What are you finding? What is the use of your research? How is it useful to the society? At least to your own field. Does it solve any problem in your particular area of education system? Like that.
Thank you.
Actually, I have seen a simple question. As a research scholar, when my mentor asked me to go and write down some research topic, so as a researcher, what kind of things I should keep in mind before going to write down?
Yes, you can write. What kind of research is? First and foremost thing is, first you will see, I am interested in this particular area. Everybody thinks about the area. Yes, I am interested in working on this particular area. In that area, you try to identify which topic you want to work on. So after you pick up a topic, try to assess it. Is it viable for research? Feasible? Does it lead to a particular finding or outcome of research? And then, what I am going to study in this? On whom I am going to conduct this particular study? And what variables should I include? Yes, you have decided on whom you are going to study. So what is their age? What is their background? What is their income group? Where do I find them? See, education setup is easy to find the students. In all social researches, it is not so easy to find a particular group. So where to find these people? How do I approach them? All these things you try to think, and then finally you arrive at a particular topic. Define it. Yes, we are not going to find them. Include. That is called in exclusive criteria, inclusive criteria. Sample, when you study, they explain about population and sample, they'll explain about, you try to, when you select a sample, use exclusive criteria and inclusive criteria. Whom to exclude, whom to include in your research. So very clearly you define your sample. So sample also comes in the research topic. On whom you are going to sample. Example, depression among perinatal women or depression among new mothers. New mothers indicates that newly delivered women. So what are you addressing? Depression. So depression among new mothers. So like that, the topic itself should indicate on whom it is conducted, what is it is going to measure. And some people state in government hospitals or particular maternity wards or kind of thing. So all those things you have to indicate. Especially if it is a research problem or a topic selected leading to partial fulfillment of a master's degree or as a fulfillment for a PhD degree, you have to be very clearly, scientifically follow the guidelines related to that particular field. Like a style manual. Style manual differ for different fields like anthropology, education and things. So the style manual gives an idea how you have to write. So there are other in medical researches and paramedical and biomedical researches, they apply a particular acronym, PICART. That is, it should indicate the time, sample, on whom you are studying. All these things, it has to be reflected. So when you present in the ethical committee itself, they'll ask you all these questions. So once you state the problem, when you thoroughly review the literature, it is easy for you to prepare a research proposal also. So review of literature is one, everybody should sit and go through the literature. Without vaguely going through the literature, it's always better to record the source. Maybe in future while doing your research it will be useful. So whatever we read, it is better to record the source.
One last question. What is the manipulating variables you told?
Manipulation of variable is treatment. Income generation. Income was found to be the reason for underachievement of children. Several studies have indicated performance of the students is related in different income groups. So you have applied various statistical analysis, regression, etc. So it has clearly indicated that this has influence on academic performance. So in interventional research, what you do is you try to manipulate this income of the student. Income of the student manipulation meaning giving parents income generation program. If it is a college setup, give a pocket money here for learn while you earn while you learn kind of thing, or some scholarships kind of thing. That is, manipulation is providing an exposure, treatment of the variable, or handling the particular variable so that it can lead to the better result for the student. So it's a kind of intervention. So normal pace is going very slowly. Intervention is you interfere to improve positively the speed.
So you find the reason, what is the...
Yeah, two kinds of research can be done. Just now you said only descriptive. Stage 1 you do the descriptive research, stage 2 you do the interventional research, qualitative research. It's not that as you are selected a descriptive research, you should only stick to that. You have 2 or 3 stages in your research. So first stage you apply situational analysis to find the reasons kind of thing. And then second stage of your research, you use the analytical research. That can also be done.
Ma'am, performance and achievement are the same, both are the same, or
Pardon?
performance and achievement, both are the same or they are different?
Performance of the student, if it is measured by you as a teacher, you show it in the form of marks. It is achievement. In the particular setup, the performance of a student in exam marks. That is the reason why people are insisting that a 3-hour exam should not be a indication for the performance. I regularly come to the class, actively attend the class, happily enjoy the teacher session, classroom session, interact, practicals I participate very well, but final exam for various reasons. Some people have a fear of examination, poor test taking skills. Some people shine very well in the exams, like competitive exams. It's not that they are highly knowledgeable. They have better test taking skills. They prepare, remember particular thing and then perform. So performance is always leading to achievement. Performance is shown, result is shown in achievement. So achievement otherwise are also there. In school setup, this is the achievement. Achievement of goals. So you said I have only 3rd rank or 10th rank or 15th rank, 20th rank. I have very good skills. I can achieved whatever I could learn. I can do well in my job. So at personal level or leading to livelihood or finding a job or employment, yes, your achievement. So achievement is how you define your achievement, how you define your performance. That is the reason why in academic setup, each and every word is debatable. What I say you may not agree, what you say I may not agree. So safely what we say is you define all your variables. Working definitions or operational definitions for everyone. Age. Age is collected from the records of the school, was considered as the age of the children. Safely I write. How can you know that it is the correct age? I do not know, but I have taken that as an age. Operational definition or working definitions are safer. That is the reason why we want you to define your variables. What is it? You want to define.
Come closer. Mouth. Agree. Mic na.
What are the current debates about the problem?
Mic.
What is the?
Mic.
Current debates.
What is the discussion on a particular problem or a particular theory? For example, earlier theories we cannot blindly accept, and then theories of education, theories of human development. So there are a lot of generational gap. Advancement of technology is there. There's a lot of change in the people itself. For me and you also there is a lot of difference in our thinking and viewing, etc. So does these theories still acceptable? Don't we want to change these theories? That is debatable. So what aspect of the theory you want to change? So a traditional education system. So it's what was there earlier, you can't say everything is wrong. Now, with so much of advancement of technology and so much of scope to access to language, the spellings are not written correctly by many people. Even doctors write CHE, check in banks. That is, earlier times when technology was not so much, the teacher used to ask each child to read out a paragraph from the textbook. So that when the first child starts reading, the other children will immediately select. When it comes to them, which paragraph they will be asked to read out. So they try to go through. When you go through that paragraph, you are seeing, you are learning the spelling and also the diction, how to spell it also. So the debatable it is. You can't say that everything. During Corona, many children forgot to write their exam. Written exam was difficult. They wanted to do it on a laptop or because their soft skills has improved, but writing skills has decreased. When I was a warden, chief warden in a hostel, even suicide made the SMS language was used. Even police people had a problem in reading this B for you kind of thing. That is the one side there is advancement. The other side, the quality of reading, writing, basic, even in mathematical abilities and other things. Blindly you are selecting for your laptop or a computer a symbol and they are telling. So when it comes to writing, again you have to think twice that is it correct way I am writing? Because that writing skill is not developed in the children. So for which level you want this technology, which level you want traditional method, we must decide.
And what is the
This is debatable.
missing debates?
So always a debate indicates towards hypothesis testing. So when you debate, somebody say, how can you say like that? Somebody will ask. So you can test it, your hypothesis. So higher education is suffering because children are coming to higher education simply without needed reading, writing skills. Any language, Telugu, English, even Sanskrit, as I said, they boast that my second language was Sanskrit, French, but they write in English. So that is debatable. This can also be tested through your research. You can choose a topic and then test it. As he said, you can do the content analysis of their answer scripts and then assess the quality of the answer sheet also. Anybody else?
समयः अतीतः धन्यवादः
अखण्डमण्डलाकारं व्याप्तं येन चराचरं तत्पदं दर्शितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। शुभसन्ध्या सर्वेभ्यः नमस्कारः। एतावत् पर्यन्तम् एताः शारदा महोदयाः अनुसन्धानसमस्यायाः मूल्याङ्कनादिविषये सम्यक् अस्माकं कृते मार्गदर्शनं कृतवत्यः। एताभ्यः अस्माकं शिक्षाविभागपक्षतः सेवारत शिक्षा कार्यशाला पक्षतः विश्वविद्यालय पक्षतः च हार्दान् धन्यवादान् प्रकटीकरोमि। एवमेव अस्य कार्यक्रमस्य निर्देशकः संयोजकः अतिरिक्त संयोजक सर्वेभ्यः हार्दान् कार्तज्ञं कुसुमानि समर्पयामि। धन्यवादः।